So here's the Wormser Brothers flask we're offering in this sale. We do believe this is the only example ever offered at a public auction. We know there's probably 3 or 4 examples around. We know there's a green one, there's and a couple kind of an olive green one, another amber one, and this one. But, you know, likely there's another couple floating around. These were believed to have been made around 1865. Wormser would have been in San Francisco at that time. If you look at Spirits of the Old West, they talk closer to 62, but I'm not sure that that would have been as accurate. This bottle comes also in a single roll collar, and those particular bottles seem to all have one thing in common, which is annealing checks that go through the glass. For some reason, the examples with the champagne tops, they do not have the annealing checks like the other examples, and that is something that's very puzzling to us, and something that we can't explain. This does have just this really crude texture to each panel. You can see how uneven that is. Just a really interesting bottle that was made around 15 years after the gold rush started. I want to point out there is what looks like a little bubble right there, and we've looked at that high and low, and just actually that's a bubble, and this we believe is a bubble. So yeah, we can't explain what that is. It just looks like maybe when the flask was blown, there was a bubble that was there, and I think if you look at it, you'll say the same thing that I do. I have no idea what it is. From the base, you can see it's an unusual shape. Everything about this bottle, there is no Western flask that resembles the shape of this particular bottle. If you compare it to the Angeli, it's different. Compare it to the Lilienthal that was made 7 years later, it's completely different. The only flask that it does resemble is its single roll cousin, I guess you could say, in shape, but it still has that kind of a flat flask shape versus the Wormser Brothers that people are more familiar with, that have the writing in the other direction. Anyway, just want to highlight this. I think it is one of the highlights of this auction. The first flask blown in the West, and certainly a great addition to any collection for you Western flask collectors. The Wormser Brothers, San Francisco.